Entire team is babies!
Okay, hey guys, we are back. We're gonna have another, what we used to call drive and talk, but I guess we're gonna call it trip chat? Trip chat now?
Trip chat, yeah.
Yeah, so, we're just gonna fly around in a plane, which we've never flown in before, so forgive us if this turns out badly. But yeah, we're gonna take a trip around the island and just talk about stuff. Sound good?
I have an MRE. There you go.
Oh, why thank you, good sir, for that MRE. Meal ready something?
Wait, can you fit in here?
Yes, I can, in the
Oh,
back.
I was so scared it wasn't two-seater for a second.
Ooh.
Okay.
My hat is clipping through the roof.
Let me look at the controls.
This could turn out really bad. Like our first trip with the helicopter.
This is literally the first time I've ever been in an airplane.
In unturned, yeah.
And the first time I've ever looked at an airplane control.
Okay.
Let's see. Looks
You,
pretty basic.
Go forward. Try, at least, do that.
Okay, here we go.
Here goes nothing. Okay, it seems
How do I
pretty
go?
seems pretty straightforward. Didn't you like play War Thunder or whatever?
Yeah.
Should
I don't
be
know how to
less
go.
complicated than that, at least.
Wait, how do I... Okay.
Okay, we're back in the water.
We're in the air.
I have my umbrella just in case.
Okay, we're in the air.
Okay.
And we are running out of fuel really fast. Hopefully you brought some gas cans.
I did bring a gas can, but does the gas can have fuel in it? It is empty.
Okay.
We can find a place to refuel if need be.
If I can land. Okay, so
There's a river. You can land in the river.
for today's episode, I'm sure most of you... Yeah, okay.
Get that.
Yeah. I'm sure most of you have heard about the controversy and scam between Tom Syndicate and T. Martin about CSGO gambling.
Yeah, but just give us a brief description, just in case people don't know.
And I just heard about it this morning, actually, and so what's going on is Pro Syndicate and T. Martin have been gambling on a site called CSGO Lotto, and they have been making a lot of money. Sometimes I watch Pro Syndicate gamble, and he makes a lot of money off of that site.
Yeah, supposedly.
And recently, they found out that Pro Syndicate and T. Martin were owners of this, or had some shareholdings in CSGO Lotto.
Yeah.
And they never really told anyone, the public.
Which
about
supposedly, if CSGO Lotto is like legally a gambling site, then that is illegal for them to do that, to gamble and then advertise it and then not reveal to people that they are affiliated with it officially, let alone owners with it. You know, even if they were just sponsored by it, then they would still be, as from my understanding, it would still be bad for them to not disclose that information. But the fact that they're the owners makes it even worse, because it suggests that they could have possibly have rigged their gambling sessions, which there's no proof of, but there is definitely proof that they did not reveal that information, that they were deliberately hiding that information in order to get people to use their site.
And, you know, gambling, CSGO gambling in general is sort of like the gray area of gambling.
Yeah.
Because gambling, as you know, is not, you know, you have to be over 18 in order to do it. But then, Valve claims, I'm pretty sure it's Valve, claims that, you know, it's not actual money, so it's not like...
Oh, we're in a dead zone.
Are we?
Oh, no, wait, no, we're not. But I'm dying of infection.
Again?
Yes.
Okay, we'll try to make a pit stop.
My infection went down. Okay, but go on.
And, you know, it's a really big gray area, and...
Yeah, and the site, the CSGO Lotto site, you have to be 13 years or older, so 13 is the minimum. So essentially, by putting that as the minimum, they're encouraging 13-year-olds to use the site and to gamble with things that could actually turn into money. But what someone said was, even though it's not real money, like the skins aren't actual money, like, but how is it any different from gambling with poker chips? You know,
Yeah.
Poker chips aren't physically money, but you can trade them for money. which is essentially what a skin is. It has a real world value. So it's technically gambling in a legal sense, at least. I am not a legal expert, so I don't really know. But as far as I can tell, it's the same thing, just with virtual items instead of physical chips.
Yeah, exactly. So you can literally turn it into real money. So
Yeah, like people sell these kinds of things all the time, and I'm pretty sure Valve probably didn't intend it to be used in this kind of gambling type of stuff, but like, you know, it's their creation, so I feel like they should, what's the right word? Not own up to it, but like, I don't know, address it, I guess, is the word. They should be addressing this. I need to get some medication, and I'm gonna die.
okay, I will get you some of that medication because I'm a prescribed doctor.
Oh, thank you, prescribed doctor. I would like some drugs from you. You and your golden crown that you got from a loot crate.
Oh yeah, so about the gambling stuff. Yeah, like I personally Pro Syndicate, he's a good I like watching him on YouTube. But to hear about this, you know, it changed my opinion about him.
Yeah,
And-
because they were. It's really shady, you know, what they were doing. It's like, if I told you to buy from this store because it's a really good store and they have really good products, and then you find out later on that I was owning the store, so I was getting money directly from that store. So essentially, I was being paid to sell you it, or essentially, if it was my store, it was me just getting you to buy something not because I thought it was good, but because I wanted to make money off of you. So that's essentially
Yeah.
what they were doing, was telling people to use a site because they directly made money off of that site. And they didn't tell anyone about it. And they tried to cover it up, I think, afterwards. Like, they started, like, putting disclaimers in the description of their videos and changing videos or whatever. But obviously, that wasn't there before because no one knew that they were the owners before. And suddenly, they added all this stuff to make it obvious that wasn't there before. So
Yeah.
definitely they were trying to cover it up, which just makes it even shadier. The fact that they're trying to backtrack when everyone knew what they were doing now. But yeah, like, it clearly looks like they were trying to make money off of people, like tricking people into giving them money essentially by deceiving them.
Pretty much, yeah.
And again, there's no proof that they rigged any of the matches that they won. Or what do you call it? Sessions? Gambling? I don't know what the term is for that. But
Duels,
yeah,
odds.
there's no clear evidence that they did that, but like based on what they've been doing, it doesn't look surprising. You know, it would not be surprising if they rigged it to make it so that they won, to make their site look better, so that people will go on it and think that they can just win. So yeah, like, that's not what they're in trouble for. I mean, I don't know if you could ever prove that. Maybe you could, but really they're mostly in trouble for the not disclosing it part and for the like underage gambling part, which are still really big issues.
Yeah, and to make matters even worse, let's hop back in the plane. Actually, it's really low on fuel.
I don't have gas.
I will get some gas. Okay, so to make matters even worse, T Martin released a apology video,
Yeah,
and
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's the thing. He took it down, like really soon after he released it, and then, you know, as people do.
I'm sure people were hating on him in the comments, like when he posted it. Unless he didn't do comments.
But I think he did some of the comments. But what he did was he apologized for all this stuff, and he said he said something around the lines of I always made it clear that I was the owner, that I've never tried deceiving you guys, and then it was really funny because like in the beginning he had like a puppy with him.
So you know that he was trying to pull some strings there by with a pity puppy, I guess.
And then he clearly said, I've always made it clear that I was the owner of Cisco Lotto.
Which is complete BS because no one knew about it
Yeah.
until recently.
And then another thing that's a bit weird is I haven't seen any videos or anything or social media from Tom Syndicate.
Yeah, but
And I don't know, maybe post something on social media, but I just didn't see that. But
yeah, because
yeah.
he was like VP, right? He was like vice president, so he was still in on it. Like, there's no way he was not in on it. But I don't know, we'll see. But I mean, I guess the president is most at fault, but still, like, I don't know.
yeah, so all this stuff is a bit, weird, shady, dishonest, and just, it's really, really bad that they even tried pulling this off. And I would go as far as calling them douchebags for doing this.
Yeah, I think that's putting it lightly. But yeah, that's really scummy. That's really messed up because.
And I do think legal action should be taken because this.
I don't think they should get away with it because. Then that's just saying like, oh, you can do whatever you want, you can manipulate your subscribers, and it's not like there's no repercussions. Like, there has to be repercussions. Like,
Yeah,
they have to be
there are some
example.
definite laws being broken here, especially the. I mean, it's just a thing of the gambling and the age. It's not fully covered yet. It's an obvious concern.
Yeah, and it's like, who knows? Like, there's a possibility other people have done this or are doing this currently. So they just happen to be the ones that got caught. So, like, I think, yeah, they should be made an example because it'll discourage people from pulling this kind of thing, which is really, really messed up because all those people, they tricked a lot of people into giving them money, essentially.
I just did
I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay.
Hey, I did it. Okay. Pro pilot. But yeah, it's just overall really, really bad.
Yeah. And it's like the crates themselves are even gambling. So it's like you're gambling with something that you won from gambling, which I guess is how gambling works.
I mean, literally, just put a crate opening next to a slot machine. Literally the same thing.
Yeah, it's like if you won a lot of money at a slot machine, and then you went to some betting website and then bet on stuff with the money that you won. So it's all just a bunch of gambling smushed together. But yeah, I would even say like the crate opening itself is gambling because, again, according to Valve, you're not really using money, you're using like a key or whatever. But the keys are bought with real money, so it's essentially like a poker chip or whatever. And then you enter it into the slot machine, which is the crate, and then you get either a good thing or a mediocre thing. Or sometimes a really crappy thing that's not worth anything. But yeah, like, Valve is doing the gambling originally, and I think that still promotes these kind of sites where you do even more gambling.
Yeah, and man, it's just so messed up. But that's all Valve gets you.
Yeah,
fun.
And it's
addicting.
CS:GO wasn't the one to start it. TF2 I think is the one that started the crates. But TF2 didn't really have that same economy. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, hats were valuable, but they had their own like in-game economy. Like, people were trading metals. I think it was the fact that you could craft them or scrap them for metal that made it different, because then you could just buy stuff with metal. Like, you didn't need to. Most people I know of didn't pay real money.
Like,
to get
it's
hats and
literally
stuff.
like a whole trader's environment, pretty much.
Like, you had people who had banks of metal. You could go. There was like scrap bank bots and stuff. So like, you never really needed to pay real money. You could just save up on metal or other hats, and then invest in stuff, and then you could just do it all in game. So if you enjoyed that kind of stuff, you could just do it with all this virtual currency. But then with CS:GO, it's like, I don't think you can craft, as far as I know. I don't play it as much anymore, but as far as I know, you can't craft. So yeah, like, there isn't that in-game currency that you can use to trade. So it's all real-world money, which is dangerous to be trading around or gambling, especially for young kids.
Okay, well, we are giving CS:GO all of this hate, but then it's like it's becoming a common idea among many other games, including the one we're playing right now.
Yes, it's not as certainly not as big with this game, but obviously they got the idea from CS:GO.
And then again, TF2, you know,
TF2 started
it's not like
yeah.
there aren't gambling sites out there.
Yeah, TF2 has some gambling sites, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And
so it's like CS:GO. Okay, so it all roots back to TF2 technically, but then CS:GO is the thing that caused like this whole revolution of just gambling.
Of everyone creating these gamble crates. Because let's see, I think we talked about this the last time we played. But let's see, let's try to name as many games as we can think of that have it. You have Unturned. You have Killing Floor 2.
Oh, yeah, Killing Floor.
You have Payday 2.
Mm-hmm.
You have... What's that game? The zombie one. H1Z1, I think, has something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Opening
there's...
up my inventory as
we're lowering it.
Oh, I got this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
We could probably use some fuel, by the way.
yeah. I could use some food too. I am already. But yeah. Are there any other games? There's probably a ton of indie games. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of indie games, like small time shooters and stuff that have tried to use this kind of model. Can I refuel it while we're flying? That would be really weird and unrealistic, but no, I can't. But yeah, like...
No, wait. Try fooling around for it, maybe.
Nope. I'm looking all around as far as I can. Nope, can't refill it while we're flying.
Okay.
So let's land in the water. If you can find some. I see some water. There's a river over there. Because I don't know if we can take off from land. Pretty sure we can't. Try to fly up high. That way, if we run out of fuel, we can still glide. I don't think... Will we drop out of the sky if we run out of fuel? Or will we glide like a real plane would? Or
Well, I don't know. We are out of fuel right now, so...
Oh, okay. Go to the nearest river. Quickly.
Is there momentum?
Oh, boy. Oh, are we gonna crash? Oh my gosh. Wait. I'm gonna get out just in case. Oh,
Stuck the landing.
that turned out fine.
Okay, go ahead and prepare it.
Okay. Get some gas.
Yeah, but other than the ones you named, there aren't that many big games that we know of.
Yeah, but I think that's a significant amount of games that have that. And some of those are pretty popular. Like Unturned's really popular. Killing Floor 2 is relatively popular, and Payday 2 as well.
And even Call of Duty is getting the action actually with their crates.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think the Payday.
Oh. Okay, we will be back.
We will return. We will return and continue the discussion later.
Okay, so we are back, and that happened.
Yes.
Note to self: do not start a water plane on land next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea where we left off. Probably something about gambling. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. I need to adjust something in my options. Don't kill us again.
I got this. It was because we ran out of fuel. So. Okay, so like this idea of opening crates is becoming a more popular idea because of CS:GO. One of the pros about it though is that it does support the game makers and developers.
Yeah, and the content creators, like sometimes they let game like players create their own content that goes in these crates, and so that's pretty cool. I know there's some games where they give you a copy of the item that you created, like a special version of the item you created, which what?
You.
Oh. Well.
If you need by the water, I'll circle back around.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go into that little lake right there.
When we land in the lake,
This lake? Oh, where's the water?
right next to you, the other side.
Oh. Right over here?
Yeah, I know TF2 does that sometimes.
Yeah, they give you a special version of your own item. I heard Killing Floor 2 doesn't, which is kind of dumb. Like, if you created your own item, I feel like you should at least get a copy of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like a really good quality copy of it. And
Yeah,
not
I
be like,
don't know if,
thanks for creating this item, now you have to buy your own item.
I don't know if Counter-Strike does that, but
I would like to think they would.
they might.
Because that's really sad if they don't. If they do it for
Some of those-
TF2, and it's Valve, so if they do it for TF2, I feel like they do it for Counter-Strike.
Yeah, because some of those things can be like super expensive.
But I'm assuming the version that the creator gets, they can't sell? Or maybe they can. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. But, like, I would assume that the version that the creator gets, they can't sell. It's just for their own personal use. Which
Yeah.
would make sense to me. But maybe
Yeah.
they can sell it, I don't know. But that would seem unfair if someone creates something that's worth, like, $1,000 and they could just sell it while someone else creates something that's only worth, like, $50.
yeah,
But I guess that's not really up to them how much it's worth because the community decides technically.
pretty much. I mean, Counter-Strike or any thing, and it actually does determine the quality of the item.
That's true. And you could equate it to like a lot of things in real life where they don't really have any value. They only have value because people assign them value. You know, like people collectively decided this is how much this is worth. And you could even say that about like paper money. You know, paper money has really no use other than to trade for things, and it only has value because people have decided that it's worth something. But unlike paper money, it's not like the cost of these things is not regulated by anyone. Even Valve themselves, you know, they just kind of release the skins and people get to decide how much they're worth. So that's one thing about this, is it's not really regulated, so this whole gambling thing isn't regulated, which can be kind of troublesome. And I think that's kind of the point of this discussion that's going on, and I don't just mean the one we're having right now, but like in general, this discussion over this CSGO gambling stuff, is it is not really, it's not regulated at all as far as I know.
Yeah, and
I'm lagging.
oh, you're.
It's fine.
Oh man,
Oh,
we ran
it's
out of
better.
fuel so fast. This is terrible.
Maybe we shouldn't be flying in the plane. And I don't have an umbrella, so if we crash again, I have no way of getting out.
I'm a good pilot. I can land perfectly.
Okay.
If only we had a bigger map. I could
Yeah,
fly around a
there are
bit
any
more.
bigger maps than this.
This one is fairly big. But yeah, I think that sort of sums up our gambling discussion. Overall, we have like a negative opinion of it.
I can't see anyone having a positive opinion about what, at least the scam. The scam itself,
What happened?
that was shady in general.
I'm sure there's some people who are like super attached to these YouTubers and like, no, there's no way they could have done that. Like,
Yeah, like loyalists, like those blind loyalists who can't see the evidence is pretty dang clear.
Another perspective is literally just, you know, who cares about who owns the site, who's getting money, just, you know, they're for gambling, should just use them for gambling. Like, who cares who made them?
Yeah, I guess so. But, like, something that's objective, that is not opinion-based, is... I guess maybe it is opinion-based, depending on how you look at it. But objectively, I would say that they did something that was illegal. Like,
Yeah.
hands down, they did something that's illegal. I guess technically that's up to a judge or a jury. But in my opinion, that's not arguable. Like, they definitely were involved in some kind of illegal activity. But in terms of the gambling itself, I guess some people I guess opinions are mixed about it. We obviously don't really like the concept, but I'm sure some people think it's okay, and I respect that. You know, like I don't hate people for thinking that this whole gambling system that they keep introducing in games is okay, because some people like that kind of thing, and some people are more responsible with their money and more responsible with the way they play these kinds of games. But I feel like it breeds like a generation, maybe not even a generation, but like it breeds a lot of gamers, especially really young gamers, who get caught up in this when they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, I know people who are like really into it, and it's kind of sad, honestly, because
it's also scary just how much money they spend.
Yeah, because
on
they
this
might
kind of stuff.
You might get a knife that's worth like $1,000, and then you look back on how much you spent getting to that $1,000, and maybe you only made you could possibly have made a decent profit, like maybe you made like $500 technically, or something around that. But for some people, they might spend thousands of dollars on these games only to get like 1,000 back, which is kind of pretty much what gambling is. You spend a lot of money, and then you get some back, and that makes you feel good getting that little tiny bit back, and that makes you want to gamble more. But that's what's scary about it, is people get addicted to this kind of thing. And again, like really young people who might not know how to manage their money that well, or even realize what they're doing because it isn't real money.
And then there's always those little kids who get a hold of their parents' credit card.
Yeah, and then like are spending money that they shouldn't be spending, and then maybe their parents find out about it, and it kind of ruins their time. But does Valve care? Does any of these websites care? No.
I mean, no, they're making money off of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's not their fault necessarily. You know, it's the kids' fault. It's the family's fault for not monitoring that. But I think like it's still something that they have to address. You know, it's their game. If people are doing something that is like negatively affecting their lives, a significant amount of people, I would assume, are doing these kind of things, getting obsessed with this kind of thing, then I feel like it's something that the game makers should address, you know, just to support their own community.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you know, regardless of what they do, I don't think it's going to prevent anyone from playing it's not going to stop people from playing the game or from getting involved in this. I highly doubt that anyone's going to change their gaming habits because of this, but who knows?
Okay. Well, let's see, our final words. All in all, we believe that Valve should take action on this.
Or say something, at least.
Something.
Which maybe they have. I haven't checked, but like they should address it.
I'm also still waiting for Tom to confront this.
To say something as well.
Yeah. T. Martin has done it, but he's taken it down.
Because it wasn't good.
And, all in all, this is generally the gray area of gaming. There are a bit more gray areas, but maybe we'll get there eventually. More topics. But, yeah, if you enjoyed this talk about something very serious, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, I guess.
Yeah, definitely leave in the comments what you think, your opinion, not just on this video, but like on the subject itself, because we usually, not usually, but like we always want like feedback and stuff, so if you want us to
if you want us to do like a specific topic, then,
let us know. If you want us to do something funny, if you want us to do something more serious, you know, or a little mix of both, which is probably what we're going to go for, just let us know. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Well, one more thing.
Okay.
I believe that our next episode is going to be on a PvE server where we are going to talk with someone else about whatever
like
topic.
Strangers, like people we don't know.
And, we will see how that goes. Hopefully, it will be good.
Yeah, hopefully we run into some fun shenanigans.
And we will see you guys later. We're about to open up a bag. Well, we'll make a separate video on that. But, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and maybe getting out.
Alright, see you guys.